Bastards. It is your boy Hungar, back from the dead, feeling halfway alive. Yeah, I got Justin with me and Shadwo from Shadwo and Son. We were just talking about how big of a bitch the RPG pundit is.
What an intro. Wow.
Well, it's the truth. It's fucking Friday.
I have rolled 2d6, and that is a 11% true.
The RPG pundit
Sean,
is a bitch.
Why don't you get in here, Sean?
The RPG pundit tries to act like, oh God, I just don't like him.
I just don't know him. I just don't know him. I've seen him once.
He's a pretentious dickwad.
And, I've heard a lot of good things about the things he's written, but it's really, for the most part, not my cup of tea. But
I'm guessing the perception that he writes good things, because I haven't checked him out, is why my die gave him 11 out of a 12 on pretentious douchebag score.
I'm just going by what other people have said about his game stuff. The things he's published, I guess. But I'm probably never going to own it. And hey, what's up, Bo?
Bo, what's up? Links in the chat, guys.
He's been stirring up so much shit with the wrong people. People I like a lot. John from Basic Expert and Victor.
He's always starting shit.
Yeah.
Good morning, Bear.
What's up there, you ho dunk, po dunk? Well, then there, motherfuckers.
Now we're talking about the pundit, RPG pundit.
Oh,
he's a bitch.
Jesus Christ! Why?
Because he's a bitch.
So why?
He met for Mr. Max.
Yeah, well, Mr. Max, I love him to tears, but he said some stupid shit that he's getting called out on too. This is a
the pundit says some stupid shit too.
I know, but listen, this isn't okay.
I mean,
why ruin a habit of a lifetime?
The pundit
I recommend you read the book.
The pundit might cast a spell on us with his degree from Hogwarts.
I'm sorry, what?
The pundit might cast a spell on us with his degree from Hogwarts.
The only spell I want to cast on him is Shuttus Uppus. Like, that's the only one I want to cast on him. And I want to cast a spell on this event that is Gous Fuckus Awayus, because I'm so
I could agree with that.
I just woke up and chose violence this morning.
Apparently. Man, is this what I ended my stream for? To come over here and have to fight with this shit?
My stream starts at 12:30 Monday.
No, I don't know these things. You fucking vanish for days on end, sir.
I've been sick.
I know you've been sick, but I didn't know if you were better or not. Where did I get a memo?
Yes, you didn't get forwarded. We gotta correct that, bro.
See,
you gotta add his name to the forwarding list.
This is what happens when you bring your little talking pieces along. See, they take you back. I love that. It's awesome.
It's the first time for everything. Normally, Justin's always like, "Yeah, fuck you, Hungar."
Fuck you, Hungar.
No, Sean, we were definitely not talking about.
No, Sean. Let me say my piece on this, which is going to be really fast. Fuck Pundit. He is a toxic fucking just on this hobby and on this community. He's not a good thing. And Max should learn better than to fucking go kick around hornet's nest like that. I mean, that's a big one to kick. You know what I mean? And if you have opinions about it, those are sometimes best kept offline.
Didn't he go after the Basic Expert too?
Well, that's the weirdest part, because the Basic Expert was on one of Mr. Max's shows one time. RPG Pundit's going after the Basic Expert. Now, from what I've been told, RPG Pundit and Basic Expert have history.
Yeah.
And that's why this is happening. Okay, I don't fucking know.
That's the only reason why Max is not openly talked about, but not shied away from beliefs. Understandings, beliefs would be the wrong word.
It's just sad. It's the whole situation is fucking sad, and it's pointless drama that's not fucking needed. You know what I mean? Like, that's the worst part of it. It benefits no one in this situation. No one wins. Everybody loses on this one.
Well, I know I'm never buying a pundit product now.
I never had a pleasure beforehand.
Well, I was never in danger of buying a pundit product to begin with. So
same with me. To be completely honest, I was never never had an issue of whether or not I was going to buy a pundit product.
Oh,
I
you don't buy any products. That's what.
Apparently, his
Look,
stuff's good.
in his writing, he does a lot of rules agnostic stuff, and that's what the RPG community needs. It needs more rules agnostic books that are well written, because I don't want to play D&D. I don't want to play any flavor of D&D. So write a good rules agnostic setting book, and I'll buy it.
High five, Bo. High five, buddy. High five.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you,
actually
I'm done with
interested.
D&D too.
I'm actually interested in getting some Palladium stuff.
I've been looking at it. I've been thinking about doing a
Guys,
deep dive on it.
it's heavy. It's heavy in the way of everything, whether it be lore, rules, mechanics.
Christ, the motion sickness begins.
Chupacabra. Is it heavy in Chupacabra? Because
But you know what? It might be what you're
There, I've locked the chair.
you're looking for. I love the idea. Since the beginning, it was a universal system that translates over all the genres. It has a little bit of something for everybody, but it might be a little rules heavy, especially when it comes to combat. A 16-second melee round can take you an hour at the table. But if that's what you want, awesome.
Yes, I have empty bookshelves because I sold a bunch of my stuff off to pay for my move. So as a result, I'm slowly, filling it with new stuff, but taking
I hope you don't live to regret it. Every time I've sold something, I have.
only one thing from this batch do I regret selling. Just one thing. And
What
that
was
was
it?
my Palladium Rules red hardcover with the red print, first edition reprint.
I'm going to get their Heroes book.
I love Heroes Unlimited. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd still rather play V&V, but V&V was a little too light in the way of skills and
Okay. I thought you guys it was too light in the way of rules. I'm like, are you kidding? V&V is like mega crunch.
I have a question.
It's a masterpiece of 47 pages.
Oh, yeah.
Except it needs a little bit more on the things you can do when you're not being a superhero.
All right. What was the hardest game that you've ever played or tried to run, rules-wise? Bo?
I'm running GURPS right now, and it's hard, and I don't care because I can pick and choose which rules I want to play.
Shadwell?
If it was too hard, I wouldn't run it.
But
I've been able to.
Yeah.
One that you've tried to. Genius. Come on.
Only because we couldn't get through the first session. The stupid red box for 4th edition.
Hey,
Put that down and
It's a toughie, man.
Just wait your turn.
That's a toughie.
He paused.
You're Ontario. You're always trying to shove yourself into conversations. No one cares about Ontario.
Yeah, you gotta come back to me. Let me think.
I saw this coming.
Uh-huh.
It's called being familiar with another person's personality.
All right.
Relax.
Friends. I'm just fucking with you too, Bear.
Bear.
What, me?
Sure.
Hardest game I ever ran? Like it was
Or
just
played. Or tried to.
I mean, look, I can tell you games I didn't like, but it was the hardest thing I ever ran. No game is really hard. You just got to get to know them, and take time with the rules. Some of them have shit rules, and they're like really hard to understand. But yeah, I don't know about hard.
Oh, okay. I know which one it is.
Cool.
Marvel superheroes. I couldn't wrap my head back in the day. I could not wrap my head around the face rip thing. I just couldn't. I mean, mind you, this was 40 years ago.
This guy loves that game.
I can teach someone to play that game in 10 minutes. What are you talking about? Oh my
Hey,
god!
maybe
Shadow. I'm gonna run you through it sometime.
Okay. Mind you, this was 40 plus years ago. I was like 14-ish.
Yeah.
It was just like I just couldn't do it.
I watched your Bear. I watched your video on that the same time I watched the video for mini.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too, Michael. John Carter's via.
AD was rough raw. The combat's rough raw.
Can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know that I would want to run it. I did play Conan with Crafting Matt, and it was awesome, but I didn't know what the hell the rules meant. I just told him what I did and told me what to roll, and it was a good time.
Now that I've got a beef with that right there. If you're gonna play the game, at least make an effort to learn the rules. Don't wait for the DM to tell you what to roll.
All right,
it was a one shot, and I read the rules, and you know,
one shot's a different animal, but I'm talking about like a campaign, right?
All right, Justin picked Redbox 4th ed, right?
4th ed. We got half. We sat in front of it for about 2 hours and then went back to 3rd.
All right, Sean.
This is old back in the day, but we couldn't. We really wanted to play Shadowrun, but we couldn't get our heads around the Matrix system.
Shadowrun's tough.
First ed Shadowrun. I probably figure it out now, but back in the day, to a stupid teenager.
I would say for us, it was Cyborg Commando.
No, fuck, it was because the game was half written.
Cyborg Commando, super interested. Yeah, we're all going to play badass cyborgs. Dun, 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 dun. It was halfway written.
Yeah. But that's not a hard game. That's a bad game design, right? Like there's plenty of bad game design.
My brother went out and got that game, and we're all hyped up and shit. We're trying to make characters, and we're looking at the graphs, and it was like, let's play D&D.
I recognize that conversation.
If you want to play cyborgs, play any Palladium game. And Bear, for the record, I am trying to find a copy of Marvel Superheroes, just because I don't like any gaps in my collection, and I don't like the idea of not understanding a rule that's a game that is to this day still so freaking popular.
Well, it wasn't popular when I was playing it. We were laughed at by all the Champions people. They claimed we were playing the kiddie game. And it's like I just give them. Are you kidding? I came from V&V to this. Like V&V.
I recently read Champions, and I'm like, character creation, got it. Combat, what the fuck?
I was thinking about picking up that Big Eye Smallmouth anime game.
I've got all of it. It's actually, it's got a lot to offer. Just say
I know my daughter would love it because she's a gamer and she's an anime fan, and she's wanting to find a game to run.
I've got the box set of the 6 or 7 different genres all in one box set. I love it, but I've yet to get to play it just because. Most of the guys I know, they look at it and go, "What the fuck?" They look at the art and not, think past that.
John, if you are ever willing to part with it, let me know, because I lost my entire collection to a thieving roommate years ago, and I want to rebuild it, but it's gotten ridiculously expensive on the secondary market for no fucking reason. So I'm looking for people who have it, who aren't looking to make money. They're just looking to clear out shelf space.
The reason it's so expensive, one, if you're looking at it right now, don't wait till after Valentine's Day. 2, because Marvel franchise is yet to come up with something better.
Why does John have so much Marvel superhero stuff when he doesn't play superheroes or sci-fi?
It's not just that, Shadow. And by the way, Stevik, Astonishing Superheroes, Tim Ben and I are working together to combine it with my own Mighty Superheroes, which will be Heroic coming out in the new year. So if you like ASH and you want to check out MSH, well, Heroic will be your jam. My reasoning is this: Noble Knight has set the bar for pricing.
Noble Knight is
and everyone forgets that Noble Knight has to pay for storefront and stuff like that. So people get on eBay and they sell stuff for the same price they see Noble Knight selling.
Yeah, I think that eBay sellers, especially when it comes to role-playing games, have confused old with desirable. I've seen a lot of books on eBay that I guarantee nobody else wants. They're trying to sell for like $50, and they can sit on them until the end of time, because I'm not going to pay those prices for a book that literally nobody else wants.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Bear, when do you run your freaking games, man?
Which games? Which games are you referring to?
Any of them.
Monday nights, I either run Final Age Against the Dark Master, or the other Monday night is the New Dawn of the West Dark Master. Every other Tuesday is Star Trek with this Joker on the far side of me over here, and some other Jokers. And then alternate Fridays is the Bastard Sword playtest, but that will be switching to a heroic playtest at some point in the future, as the heroic playtest rules are currently being assembled by Aid Smith and Wilfredo Martinez, and myself and Tim are overseeing it to make sure that the parts of Astonishing Superheroes and Mighty Superheroes we want are going to be in there together. But it is a neo clone of Marvel Superheroes of the old Phase Rip system.
Bear, as soon as your stuff is ready, let me know. Your superhero stuff, I'll buy it, provided I get an autographed copy.
Well, it's going to be print on demand, so autographing it will mean you'll have to come up to CleriCon next year if it's available by then.
What I'm trying to say, Bear, is I want in on one of your games, bastard.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the way to get in, by calling me a bastard. That
Yeah,
makes me immediately go, fuck, come on down, cocksucker.
Monday is the only night I have open of my busy schedule.
All I want for Christmas is to play with Bear.
No, you're not allowed to play with Bear. If there was a Mrs. Bear, she'd shoot you, but currently there is no Mrs. Bear.
Exactly. So you take what you can get.
I choose the path of the band of the hand, sir.
I said lanolin, not this aloe vera bullshit.
Yeah, but you could have a shower date with Pamela Henderson.
Exactly, or Rosie Palm and her 5 sisters. Exactly, that's just life.
Shower date.
Bear's very handsome.
Oh, that was.
I think I got that on a shirt.
Because fucking puns are the lowest form of wit.
Keep him up. I love watching his face explode.
Honestly, I thought sarcasm was the lowest form of wit.
No, sorry, intelligent.
Hey, Steve K, 1977.
Justin is an avatar of Krampus.
I believe it.
Yep.
I thought he just escaped.
Howdy, Raven.
I'll be right back, guys. Carry on.
Okay, fair enough.
My wayward sons.
Real
quick, Hungar's gone. Let's talk some shit.
Almost everybody here.
All right, let's talk some shit.
Skinny.
Listen. At the end of the day, I've made a decision that I will not ban Mr. Max from my live streams, so long as he doesn't come in and start talking some bullshit that I don't like, at which point I will deal with it. But if he's going to just be a human, he's more than welcome to come to anything I do, and that's the way it is. I don't give a fuck what anyone's politics or conspiracy theories are. That's your fucking business.
Has he ever done that before anywhere?
No. He actually has been really good. There's a couple of times things got to a point where he wanted to say some shit, and he goes, "Okay, I got to go work out now. I'll talk to you later. Bye," and he leaves.
Yeah.
And then he sends me a private message on Discord going, "Sorry, I was getting upset." And it's like, it's okay, man. You bailed out. You punched out. You did the smart thing.
Yeah,
unless the stream is specifically political, he just prefers to talk gaming and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Shy away from it anyway.
So I will not use the weapons of my enemies, because that would make me my enemy.
I keep getting urged to do a conspiracy show, but I kind of handle that on Saturday night with my buddy Nathan. But you never know.
I've often thought about doing a second channel called Bear's Cave, which would just be about me talking about UFOs and that kind of fun stuff. But I don't know.
You ought to drop by Nathan's show once in a while, and check it out.
Anything's possible.
The
Fridays at midnight.
This post 2016 society that we live in is if you refuse to talk about politics in your games or streams, then that's a political message.
Yeah.
To some people. By refusing to talk about politics, you've taken the side of the reactionary.
You're
and those people
mass
suck my nuts from behind.
I just want to talk about fun shit on my streams.
Well,
I want to talk about gaming. That's it. Just gaming.
It don't even have to be about gaming. I mean, shit, we could talk about freaking tacos.
Music.
All I care.
Tacos. Now,
Anthony's doing fine.
Movies, music, comic books, as long as it's a fun.
Oh shit! Don't even get me started on comic books.
Can't talk about comic books anymore. They become the fucking flashpoint for this bullshit culture war.
Well, it started.
That's why I started collecting the old EC comics recently. Oh god, I can't get enough of that shit.
The ones from the 50s?
You betcha.
Tell me you're collecting at least reprints, because the originals are super expensive.
Actually, I'm eyeballing the 1979 hardbacks.
Oh, yeah, those are reprints. Those are affordable. But man, the originals, I
I
know people who have actual originals in their collection that they'll never.
Yeah,
part
fuck
with.
that. Fuck that.
They'll
I wouldn't even
never
have a
part
place
with
to store them. No, even the hardbacks are, you know, like almost, well, for a good set of the box set of 5, you're looking at $400.
No,
And that's kind of steep.
I've got some originals, and I had some really good. Like I had Namor's first appearance, which was pretty.
And I got to admit, anything with Vampirella in it, I'm a sucker.
You're a simp. You're not a sucker. You're a simp.
Nah, man, just something about that comic book.
Now, what origin story do you prefer?
Pardon?
What origin story do you prefer?
Yeah,
the
Daughter of
original-
Dracula or Planet of the Vampires?
Planet of the Vampires.
Planet of the Vampires.
With the rivers that flowed with blood. What?
I know.
And
anybody
like,
knows
oh
me,
my god!
knows me. I couldn't be an EMT because of my issue with live blood. I'm not a big fan.
The shores of coagulating.
Oh, Coagulation Bay. Oh, good God.
I've also got the very first appearance of Lobo. It was in a Omega.
Me too.
Man.
Me too. Punisher, Doctor Strange, Conan.
I've got the Suicide Squad's first appearance. I collected the Legends run back when they came out, and I didn't realize the significance at the time. I'm glad I packaged it and put it in a box.
I've got the Tick because
that's one of those things I regret selling. I made a bundle, and now they're kind of affordable. But back at a certain point, I got like $300 for the issue number 2 with the cutout, and it was just like it was one of the funniest, well-written things I've ever read. And God, do I regret it.
What is not invulnerable?
Spoon.
Look west, little wooden boy. Yeah. I mean,
we're a hedge.
We are a hedge. Nothing to see. We are a hedge.
I just like when he's like Arthur.
Arthur, you need to take off that stupid Halloween costume. I feel comfortable in it.
You gotta admit, it did look comfy.
Yeah. But it's like your superhero name is just your name.
I, Arthur.
Safe Space and Snowflake.
I really enjoyed the Drew Hayes Poison Elves series.
Never read
it. You can pick up the trade paperbacks. Pretty affordable.
Yeah, I can, but I won't. But thanks to I can.
The main character's name is Lucifer, no relation. And like one of the first episodes, he's coming back. He's longshoreman. He's coming back home. First thing he sees on his door is an eviction notice. He's an elf. He walks in his house, and his wife is like passed out. There's a bunch of drunk dudes passed out all over the place. I mean, and he's like, that's it. I'm going to get my sword. I'm going to get my gun. I'm going to kill all you sons of bitches.
I recognize this story.
Because he was an assassin. He was an elf assassin before he became tragic.
No.
It's a great book. And then Drew Hayes OD'd underneath the bridge.
I prefer my comic books without pictures and in long form.
You're a snob.
They call them novels.
But that's a list of stupid things Justin has said.
Can we make a Justin Stupid Things Said bingo card at some point?
It's like Osiris says in Tropic Thunder, Justin, you want full retard. You should never go full retard.
Maybe, but I can read a book without pictures in it.
Everybody can. If you can read a comic book, you can read a book. We're not talking about novels. We're talking about comic books, you silly Canadian bastard.
Hey! Stop disparaging my country over his bullshit.
We're disowning him. You can have him now because he appears on your stream most of the time.
You can have him. You guys want him? He's all like Justin Bieber. He's all yours.
No. I'm not like.
I don't know if we got room.
Well, you're not giving us Nickelback.
We're full up of South Americans right now.
Yeah, you can have another Justin though.
No, you keep it Trudeau.
Oh, you mean Fidel Castro's illegitimate son? No, thanks. You can keep him.
I've said that before. I've said that before. But okay.
Bear's getting a migraine as we speak.
No, Bear just decided not to have a nap at lunch, which was a mistake, clearly.
Naps are always good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about ordering a pizza.
Next up on Brain Fart Theater. Why is that itch?
Pizza sounds good.
Yeah.
I made a couple of pizzas this week for the boys. I kid you not, 2 pizzas and 3 meals, and it wasn't enough.
It never is.
Oh, the teenage boys are going to be eating you out of house and home.
I made a
pretty much.
casserole.
I've got 2 freezers, and they're both damn near empty after 2 weeks. Normally, before the new guy, Alex, Jackie's best friend, moved in with us, I'd go shopping, and I wouldn't have any room to put shit in the freezer. Now it's like I can hear an echo.
Well, but at least you know something in there that's out of date or freezer burned.
Yeah.
I still serve it to them. They don't know the difference. They're Mexican.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like the freshest food they've ever had.
No. They pick their own.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ, Shadow. On today's episode of Jesus Christ,
it's not nearly as bad.
Mexicans, they can only eat things at least 6 months old or fresh off the branch.
That's got to be Justin's show, Brain Fart Theater.
I'd subscribe to it. I don't know that I'd watch it. I'd subscribe to it.
I'd watch that shit.
Well, I never thought I'd be happy to say this in my lifetime, but after that round of what the fuck, I have to go back to work now. So, peace, love, geek.
Have a great weekend.
See y'all later now. Be good.
Party on.
Wow. Just try not to be evil.
I will.
Man, why you gotta leave like that?
Very good.
And everything goes quiet because Bear's the talker of us.
All right, so what are we going to talk about now?
Because he's the voice of reason. He's the autumn distinguished member.
Well, I got a question.
He's liberal.
I saw Hungar's flash shirt. Definitely approve. But Sean, what's yours? I want to say
Star Wars.
I thought so.
Episode original.
You've got it on backwards, but I approve.
I got backwards.
You do. You literally do.
Mr. Hilt, I
Just
do not
mirrors
give
cameras.
royalties to anyone.
No, it takes the back.
No, the front has got just the Arduino over the heart.
The tag is in the back. Look.
Really? Then you must have got a cheaper one than I got.
Yeah.
Or I'm wearing mine backwards, which is entirely possible.
No, but I mean, if you wear the t-shirt backwards, the collar is way up in your throat.
I could believe Shadwell would wear a shirt backwards. He still hasn't fixed that smoke detector, and it's been like 6 months.
I told you I need a 20-foot ladder.
He's just showing his ethnicity.
Yeah.
I would dispute that, but
he has 2 living with him.
I would dispute that, but I honestly don't know what my ethnicity is on one side of the family. So, if you're talking about Irish folk, guilty.
No. Mexican.
Okay, so.
And now Bear's back. First, if I'm the voice of reason, we're all going to die. Secondly, I am not liberal at Justin Thor LPS.
You are now, bro.
Bear called me freaking woke one day.
Sorry. Bear is NDP, which means super liberal.
Bear one day called me woke, and I was like,
yeah, Max has called me that on Max from Legion of Myth has called me that at least once, but I think it was just one particular thing.
Okay, something to talk about. That Veterans Day stream was really cool.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. I couldn't be on there as much as I wanted, and Jackie couldn't make it because he was out of town. But yes, absolutely. Anything I can do to help.
I think that filthy Capellan is a little too genocidal for me.
Filthy Capellan. Genocidal Capellan.
And real world genocidal, not fake genocidal.
Real world genocidal? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Not genocidal.
Justin, you're just being cantankerous.
No.
Oh, okay, Logan. I usually call you something completely different, but by your command.
Lucifer.
Mr. Hill is my uncle.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his first name.
I always try to go by people's YouTube names.
Yeah, well, let's hope we can keep doing that.
His
That's all I'm going to say about that.
name is from the hilt. So I said Mr. Hilt.
No, that is literally his name, Hilt.
Yes, I know. And it's his last name.
So, Mages, what you got going on? Watched your video the other day with the Dungeon Minister. That was pretty good stuff, man.
Yeah, just working on the Clericon recaps. I saw Bear streaming. I was like, oh, I'll take a little break.
Dude, those
and then he's like,
animations.
oh, Hungar is starting to stream, so I popped over here. So in other words, I'm procrastinating.
Procrastination is good.
We can
I'm
running a little behind on your show, Sean, as well as Father Aaron's. I've been kind of busy doing some other stuff.
So much. I haven't watched Father Aaron's in a while, but yeah, it's. I mean, I've caught up. Aside from the Clericon recaps, I'm all caught up on my recaps. So there aren't any to be had until we start playing again. My games haven't played in 2 months because I went through the move and I'm selling my place and all that. The thing I've got going on
everybody's freaking moving right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I listed my place and, listed it for a reasonable price. We didn't get a single view. It's been 3 weeks almost. We got one. So we got one viewing. And it's like, okay, this is ridiculous. So I had a chat with my realtor yesterday and we've lowered the price by almost 100. And we're like, okay, let's reserve offers and see what happens. And it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's rough. 100. Wow.
Yeah, the market cooled right as I listed. It's like, go figure. Talk about bad timing.
Again, I would think that this the holiday season might not be the time to think about that.
I have no choice.
Not an option. Oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah, sometimes you have no choice whether you want to sell something or not.
But it's in Toronto, right?
Yep.
So you're looking at a profit of like $2 billion or something like that.
That would be nice. That would really be nice. Well, we'll see. We lowered it by as much as we did in the hopes of generating interest and get people seeing the place because like I said, we're holding back offers for 2 weeks and then it becomes a bidding war. So it won't likely sell for that low. If it does, then that means the market's really bad. But so we're hoping the bids will take it back up over 400.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just a matter of it's just 2 more weeks and so it'll be. But the real estate market is its own beast. Nothing I know about, so I'm relying on the opinions of the expertise of my realtor.
Right.
Yeah. What the fuck's
Yeah, the real estate market's always a pain in the ass.
And I'm hesitant to start my games back up because I got jury summons. I think I've mentioned this before. I got jury summons in 2 weeks. So it's like until I know exactly, it takes me an hour and a half to get down to the courthouse. So it's an hour and a half each way. So I don't want to start setting up my games when I'm going to be baked from getting up and out the door at 6 a.m. to get to the courthouse for 8 a.m. So I might not get selected, but I still have to appear for 2 days of jury selection.
Who's running Fabric over their mic?
Not me. I don't think it's me. I've got the laptop on my lap. Is this you hearing anything?
Yeah.
Is that me? Okay.
Yeah. It's something you can't choose. Don't worry about it.
Sean, what's the name of your demi-lich? If I get a chance to go to Clericon, I'll make a cleric that worships him.
It's eccentric.
Hey, Sarah.
That's awesome.
I really enjoy your recap because you are not afraid to kill off a PC. Holy crap. Every single game your PCs bite the dust.
There's a high body count for sure. They learned early on that you can't just rush in and fight. So they've gotten smart. You'll notice the deaths have decreased as the series progresses because players are playing it smart.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
how
that.
many players have you killed off so far?
At least in the session.
Quite a few. Yeah, I think it's almost 30.
Damn, yeah.
And
For the record, I don't kill them off. The dice kill them off. They just put themselves into a situation where they can die. I have no hand in it.
if I was in your game, all 30 of those would be my character.
You're the one that wants the one hit point magic user, so
Yeah, well, I didn't say magic user.
no,
It's very easy to survive with a single hit point character. And a lot of people look at one hit point and they're thinking, "Oh my god, it's the end of the world." It's like, I've played one hit point characters. You just have to play smart. You play like a person who sees a weapon pointed at them and go, "Oh fuck, I'm in danger." Not, "That's okay. I've got hit points. I can take it."
Yeah. What you should be doing anyway.
Which, yeah, exactly. And I find that high hit point players with high hit points tend to actually die faster because they get overconfident. The person with one or two hit points will be more cautious. They'll be careful. They'll pick fights only when they've got an advantage.
If you're playing a one hit point character, you need to play that character as a person with only one freaking hit point.
You should be playing all your characters that way.
Because you don't know how many hit points you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might have a good sneaky suspicion that if you get stabbed, you're going to bleed out immediately. But you shouldn't really play like you know how many hit points you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I never played my hit points. I always play how much damage, how injured I am from getting attacked. That's when I'm playing like a hardcore,
Yeah, I almost would like to play a game where you don't know like your numbers. You know what I mean? I've tried it in the past, and back in a long time ago, and it didn't go over well. I think with a more mature, play group, I think that would be at least rewarding for a one-time thing.
I'm sorry, I had to mute for a bit because somebody was peeking in to talk to me. What were you saying?
I was saying I would like to play a game or see a system where you don't know your numbers. The DM does, but you don't. You've got like maybe words, like you're strong.
I thought that was called D&D. Wasn't that how D&D was originally set up?
Yeah,
I'll tell you why I don't like that system. As I played it a couple of years ago, where the DM thought he was being clever by hiding all the information so that we could immerse. And it sounds great in theory, but you really need a DM who's on point with how he's describing things. Like in this case, we had a DM. The fighter character had like 23 hit points. He knew his maximum, but he didn't know his current values, right? And we get into a fight. The fighter had been injured, but the DM wasn't also telling us how much damage we were taking. So he had taken a couple of hits, and my character was the cleric. So I healed him up. But before I did, I asked. I was like, "How bad does he look?" Right? Like, what's the extent of his injuries? And he's like, "Oh my god, he's horrible. He's got a gaping wound. It's awful. Like he's bordering on passing out from blood loss." I'm like, "Holy shit! Okay." I blew all my cure spells. And then he's like, "Okay, well, you didn't have to blow so many. He only was down 2 hit points." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
See, that's the DM being a jackass.
Yeah,
or an idiot. Yeah, and
or
overly zealous. Have to be on point.
You got to have some sort of like predetermined scale metric.
Well, that's something that can be done by the game designer. If you use the right words to just have words, in a tier system, slightly injured.
Yeah, but Shadwell, somebody's gonna fuck it up.
Well, yeah.
What's up, dog?
Yeah.
Hey.
How I worked this time? Have I managed to connect this time? Because last time I tried to join, it didn't work, did it?
It didn't work.
No.
Long time no see.
You're right. You're right, all. Thought I'd pop on to fill the very large space left by Bear. With a very small.
Well, you didn't have to call him out for being overweight. He is thinking.
No, he's very tall. He's a big man.
Yeah,
big personality. I'm small.
If you're just trying to make
Bear's awesome. Everybody knows that I've got a bromance with Bear.
Bear is also very close to his camera, whereas John is very far back, so it appears very.
It's like you guys saw the other day.
Yeah, there you go. You're bigger now.
I had my Santa outfit on, and Bear put an elf hat on. Bear's
yeah, he's a good man. He's a good man. All right, so what have I missed in the last 20 minutes?
Shadow's trying to be completely.
Whoa.
no, not difficult.
Right.
He's wanting to play a game where none of the players know their information, and it's up to the GM.
The numbers.
The numbers. It's
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
It's I think it would be more difficult on the GM, and the GM really has to be on point. Like Sean was saying, he was playing in the game like that, and the GM was saying the fighter was all fucked up. So Sean blew his heal spells on him, and the fighter only was down 2 hit points.
2 hit points, even though he was just being described as near death. 2 from 23, right?
Well, yeah. The DM's got to be. I mean, I've run Sean through a game where he didn't know anything about his character at the start, nothing whatsoever. But it was a different system. It wasn't a fantasy.
It was a different scenario, yeah. And I'm not saying it can't work. I'm just saying the DM has to be on point.
The DM has to be on point, and a lot of I'm not saying that a lot of DMs are shit, but a lot of DMs are shit.
And the other aspect of that is I've already got enough on my plate as a DM. I don't want more. I want the players doing some of their own math, right?
Well,
tracking their own characters. I trust my players. Nobody's going to fudge.
If you have a game you got a lot of NPCs, you've got a big dynamic world, you've got all this political intrigue and everything going on, you're trying to keep track of everything, the last thing I want to do is keep track of your character sheet.
Yeah, especially if you've got like 6 players in the game. If you're running a game with like 5 or 6 players, you got to worry about the world. You got to worry about all the players. You got to worry about the NPCs. You got to worry about the monsters. You got to worry about.
That's slightly. I mean, that's clearly slightly different to the game that I ran because it's a Call of Cthulhu scenario. It's called Forget Me Not because all the characters start at the beginning, not knowing who they are, why they're there, what their names are. That's
literally part of the scenario for you to suffer.
It's part of the scenario.
See, I would play in or run a game like that. I would not mind where your characters wake up, they have no idea who they are, where they are, or how they got there.
That's like a one shot too.
That would be a good. Not even just a one shot. You could run a game in a long-term scenario like that where the players are actually figuring out what's going on with them, their adventure party, what have you.
But it shouldn't be like long-term, like maybe 3 or 4 sessions most. And
then they figure out what's going on.
See, I don't know about you guys, but when I run a game, I have copies of their character sheets. I do.
Yeah.
And to me, that doesn't really seem like a lot of work if it's built into the system. With the right descriptors, I think it would be a lot more realistic. Players would be a lot more cautious until they,
But some GMs do not. Some GMs do not have that capability to actually run a game like that.
That's why
I'm not trying to say bad shit about a lot of GMs, but a lot of them are shit.
Yeah, that's why I said you should probably have some sort of scale, like for your DM screen to put to give you an idea of how to describe things depending on how much. Or
absolutely, there's not enough of that. There's too much emphasis on combat mechanics as opposed to describing what it would be like. That's what I like about a lot of the superhero games is when they talk about your stats, they give you a really good idea of what. Like this number range, like 15 to 18 is, and then they'll describe what that's like. To have
remarkable, excellent, amazing.
Exactly.
See, I wouldn't be able to run a game like that because I'm a shit DM. I would not be able to keep track of everybody's stuff.
That's the first step of becoming a problem is admitting you have one. You know what? I found one of the best tools for being a great DM is getting back on the other side of the screen and being a good player.
Yeah.
I'm a crappy player.
Well, you do get distracted by your phone.
DMs should play once in a while. You should absolutely.
I'm still waiting for somebody else to run a game I can jump into.
Yeah, but you hate D&D.
I'll play anything if the DM is good, or the GM is good, or if the party is good.
You don't know that until you play with them.
D&D's got problems baked into it, and we've talked about this because D&D is a war game.
It used to be. I think
It doesn't have to be. It's like any game. You can make it what you want.
Yeah, exactly. I don't look at it like that at all.
It has the roots there, 100%.
Or I have.
Well, it really depends on how you run. It really depends on how you run your non-combat skills.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's just do an intelligence check to succeed, like that's lame.
Same here, Curtis.
Yeah.
I don't want to just roll an intelligence check to succeed.
Yeah, I've never run for 20 people. 14 was my cap, and that was a very special merging of two groups that was meant to last no more than 2 or 3 sessions, and they were people I knew, so it worked. Clericon, I had 8 at my table, and that was way too much. I had asked he cap it at 6, but there was a clerical error, and so I had 1 more than I had the maximum. But then he asked me on the day if his son could join in because his son really likes the show, and I was like, all right, so that made 8. I think next year I'll have him cap at 5 with a possible 6 for a special guest insert.
Yeah, 6
I ran a game once.
Max.
I ran a game once of 3 parties of 7. They all approached this island from various shipwrecks. It was a treasure hunt. Each party had a part of the map. And it was rough, but I was a lot younger and had a lot more energy and stamina. But I definitely recommend that you find out what you're doing, and push toward the most, because I never wanted to tell somebody, sorry, I got too many people at the table, especially if they're really enthusiastic, because I find that at some point somebody else is going to leave. Something's going to happen, especially when you start getting, into the 6, 7, 8 players. Let them in, and someone will drop out. That's just the way, the nature of the beast.
All right, so Bo, in your opinion, what is the best size of a party that you're running? A game that you're running?
5.
I concur.
I generally like that too.
I think
4
is okay. 4 is good, but anything more than 5, and to me, the wheels start to fall off.
They can, if you have disciplined players, you can go a little higher. My AD&D game is 6, but they're all super disciplined. They're focused, so it's no worse than having 5.
You run first ed, old school, freaking. You gotta be disciplined and focused to play that. Shadwell, what about you?
5 to 8.
Justin?
I said 4 to
5. Sean, you're at 6, right?
Well, as Beelzebub says, 4 to 6 is the ideal range, but 5 is that sweet spot.
Yog?
I think it depends on the game system, but yeah, somewhere around 5 or 6 seems to be the smoothest. I'll happily run with 3 or 4 if the game system can be adapted, or the material can be adapted, or the players can adapt to running with a smaller group. And something like Call of Cthulhu, anywhere between 2 and 6, it doesn't matter.
I've done a game with 2 players for long terms.
Yeah, I can run. I can run anything anywhere between 2 and 5. That's my idea number. 5 is just like. But
I'm going to be running with Raven, who I hope is still in the chat. I'm trying to teach her, the hobby. She's very interested, and I'm going to do some one-on-one sessions to get her into it so that she can then join a larger group. I wish I could do that with every player. Is run a one-on-one for at least 4 hours and get them into their character. Before meeting the group, so to speak.
You're doing first edition, right?
You betcha.
Okay, so I've never played first edition. I've played the 3rd edition.
Oh, okay.
So I was going to say, if you're doing a thing with Raven, how about let me sit in on that? That way I can brush up, because it's been a while and I can get familiar with.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Yeah, that's why I'm mentioning this.
They're like completely different games as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Well,
that's still here, Shadow.
How about a game of Cyberpunk? I'm down for some Cyberpunk.
If you want to run it.
Yeah, that's one genre I could never get into. The idea of losing parts and getting them replaced.
Well, you don't have to do that.
Right, but if you don't, you're kind of,
We're saying,
well, yeah, you're not going to be able to compete or even really contribute as much as everybody else. That genre is, definitely for people who don't have, who are not squeamish, I guess. To me, the idea.
You can just have the bad guys be androids or like Blade Runner.
I love Cyberpunk. I love
Yeah.
Shadowrun, but I've tried to run them and my brain just doesn't wrap around it.
No, I could run it. I wouldn't want to play it.
I am a fantasy GM, and people are always talking shit about 3.0, 3.5. I've had a lot of fun playing those systems. When 3.0 and 3.5 came out, we ran a game consistently. My brother ran a game that I played in, and some friends of ours played in consistently Wednesday nights for 2 years plus. And we had a lot of fun in that game. So, we played the game for a long time. And, I think for a new player, it's easy for them to pick up.
I disagree on one part. It's a very complicated game. I would rather start somebody in a simpler game, and then if they want more crunch, then move on up. But for your first game, especially if you have like no experience in this sort of thing at all, I think it's going to be really tough, especially with the feats. There's you got to do a lot of hand holding and help them pick the right feats.
I taught my daughter how to play D&D. We taught my daughter how to play D&D on 3.5, and she took to it like a duck to water. I mean, it took a couple of game sessions for her to get into the thing, but once she got into it, once she started picking up on the rules and the feats and stuff like that, it was really easy for her.
Awesome.
I don't want to start a new player with any D20 SRD system, and I'll tell you why. There's plenty of time for that later. But if you start a player on any D&D or D&D clone, they're going to start to think that that's the only game out there. How many people think that the sun rises and sets on a D&D SRD D20 clone?
D&D or bust. D&D or bust.
Nah. FD.
Honestly, I'm a huge fan of Traveler, and if they're a sci-fi oriented individual, I think that's one of the easiest systems to learn. Your skills are simple, they're concise, the mechanics are super easy.
I love Traveler, but that's the only game you can play where you die in character creation.
Yeah.
It depends on the edition. It depends on the edition.
And you can always just not do that, from what I hear.
Yeah, that's not a hard fast rule. It comes from an era, I mean, mind you, that was what 1978, 79, where making up the character was a game unto itself. You want players to make up a character and get playing, not get rolling up another character. To me, that's just redundant.
If you understand or even have a passing understanding of most character generation systems, you should be able to generate 2 in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, character
creation. The death is reliant on a sometimes mid-range die roll. Every 4 years you roll survival, and if you fail, if that's the agreed upon situation, you fail, you die. You're gonna make that roll like 5-6 times, making up a character. You're gonna die. I mean, those are just the odds.
I like Traveler, but you can actually die during character creation.
Yes, but that would be easy to fix. You just don't roll the survival thing. You just assume you're surviving till the point.
Well, you get named and have to muster out of the service too.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why the survival roll is there. Even in the newest edition, is if you fail that roll, you might walk away with a cybernetic arm. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's awesome.
You just replace the death with roll again or something.
You just keep doing it until you make it.
Well, yeah, but if you don't want to sit there rolling up character sheets for like 3 hours,
Right.
Don't be a weenie.
Yeah, because you can roll up a decent
Don't be a
traveler
weenie.
character in like 15
No.
minutes.
I want
it
my
only takes
I
like
want my
5, 10
character
minutes
to
to
die
make-
in game, not in
It
creation.
only takes the character. It only takes about 10 minutes, 5, 10
Let's do a
minutes. to
different
roll.
version of Traveler. Then there's like 30 versions of Traveler.
Classic. All right, y'all.
Megan.
You run a lot of Cthulhu, right?
Not as much as I'd like, but yeah.
But so, how big of a deal is insanity rolls in your game?
Very frequent, and I expect my players to lean into all the effects. And I think it adds fun to the game. It does depend on what type of game we're playing. If it's a long campaign, then it'll be a slow drip, 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 and they'll be very mild to begin with. But if it's a one shot, just go to town.
Yeah, just they run up
behind
against
the old
one
man.
of these freaking Cthulhu-esque monsters, and it's like, I'm crazy.
Which edition of Cthulhu are you running?
Currently running 7th edition.
7th edition?
Yeah, I like it. The simplifications and the alterations just make it run really smoothly for me. So
Is that the edition you sent me?
yes,
Awesome.
yes.
I've always loved the Cthulhu mythos.
Mhm.
And I am currently sat on your screen next to somebody who did lean into his insanity in when we played Cthulhu together.
You got to go with what you know.
Nice.
I think I got the beat on that.
He had one incident that cost his character 20 sanity points in a single go,
Ooh.
which
Yeah.
ended in carnage. Ended in carnage.
It ended in being eaten from the inside out by tiny
And welcome
spiders.
to the show, buddy.
I've always been under the impression that if you're running a Cthulhu game and at least half of your players don't go insane, what are you doing with your life?
Well, I would just start channeling my patients from work. I could do, and there's all kinds of insanity. I could do grandiose. I could do paranoid.
Pick one and run with it.
It depends on the scenario.
Awesome.
It depends.
I
It
am
depends
the
on the
best investigator ever. Just slowly, just get more and more detached from reality.
It depends on the scenario. I mean,
That sounds like so many of us, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I
I
was running
resemble that remark.
before the lockdowns. I was running Horror on the Orient Express, and we'd got through about 6 or 7 scenarios in that sort of campaign, and some of the characters had lost about 15 odd points. Now, that's how much sanity I'd expect characters to be losing in a one shot, but this was 6 fairly meaty scenarios, so you can do it differently. You can slowly introduce the nastiness and have it quite mild to start with. It all depends how you want to run it.
Mm-hmm.
I like where my characters, when I'm playing Cthulhu, where my characters start developing phobias or tics or something like that, where, you know, every once in a while they have to do a certain amount of taps before they do something.
Howdy, Max.
They're compulsive behaviors.
Yeah, they're compulsive behaviors. Start off with something small like that before they go absolutely positively batshit nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm keep a copy of the DSM next to your DM's book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're passing out the symptoms.
And it could be anything. That what I liked about Cthulhu is it could be anything that could set your character off. They could see like this weird mutated monster and, you know, roll really well and not lose any sanity points, but then run across this room that's just dripping with blood and snap like that.
What did I see? I saw the weirdest thing. There was a scratch builder, and this freaker put up a content warning for people who were scared of dots or small holes. And it's like, yeah, like your scratch building. No, but being scared of small holes. That's you know, like pus holes or whatever.
Yeah, that's where the worms come out.
Yeah, that's a phobia you gotta find out the name for and
and abuse.
And abuse.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, horror games it can be difficult to get the atmosphere right, but you have got to somehow. If you don't make your players feel at least some degree of tension, and maybe a little bit of squeamishness, then you're not. I don't think you're really doing it right.
And horror is my favorite genre. It really is. I love playing in a dark horror game.
Yeah, and horror games are often where you have the most comedy as well, because of the natural response to horrific situations is to try and laugh about it.
Oh, I see you've been to that job.
Trypophobia. That's what it's called. I just looked it up.
There ain't nothing worse there ain't nothing worse than being around doctors and nurses that work in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything, I mean, our humor is like food in the Ukraine. Not everyone gets it.
That is true.
Oh, geez. It's like, what do American kids and Ethiopian kids have in common? They've neither one ever tasted Ethiopian food.
Okay.
I live in North America, and I've tasted Ethiopian food.
Yeah, but
it's a lot of rice and grains.
I know. We've told these jokes before, and I'm down with telling them again for new audience, but
yeah. It is an old joke. It is a funny one, but I've had Ethiopian food.
I have to agree with Bleeker here. The whole point of a horror game is to be scared. Why would you need a warning for a particular phobia? You know what? I ran a game once.
No. That content warning was on a scratch building channel. They were doing like Nurgle or something like that, and it was a joke.
I ran a game once. I ran a D&D game once where one of the players was telling me before the game that she had a severe phobia of snakes, and she wasn't going to play in any game where they'd have to run up against or run into any snakes or anything. So the first monster that they ran into in the jungle was a giant snake.
That's I honestly couldn't have people like that in my game.
Exactly. I didn't want to say, well, you can't play my game, but if she's so afraid of snakes that she can't handle it in a frickin' D&D game, she doesn't need to be in my D&D game.
No,
especially one that's in a jungle.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I'm not a bit. Go ahead, Justin.
Look, there's a difference between if somebody has got a legit psychiatric condition and they want to sit at my table and we talk about it beforehand, like in the session 0, I'm willing to accommodate that much more than someone who has an X card that they can play whenever they want. If you have a legit psychiatric condition, let's talk about it beforehand, and I will accommodate.
No, she was one of these girls that if everything didn't go her way, she was not going to play the game.
Well, that's a different animal. I said you can't run an X card. That's different. But if you talk about it beforehand, at the beginning of the game, and say, look, I was abused as a kid. I can't deal with, with like a rape scenario. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I try to keep my games PG-13 anyway in that kind of respect, but I'm definitely one to accommodate.
Hey, get these fuckers in the show.
Well, I'm trying to, asshole. Shut up.
That's
what I'm to work, man.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I don't go where you work and tell you how to suck dick. You don't tell me what to do, okay? Let's leave it at that.
No one told you how to do it.
I didn't tell you that. I just asked what happened to it.
Oh, it's there. It just doesn't need me right now.
Brian, I sent you the link in Discord, dude. You know how it is when you try to hit the link.
John, I seriously want to talk to you about buying your Marvel collection, but that's an offline conversation. Phobias in gaming are a weird goddamn thing because I am an arachnophobe of the highest level. Okay, like you could drop
spiders, bro.
You could drop a spitting cobra in my lap, and I'd be like, "Oh, look, a cobra! Someone please remove this." You put a fucking garden spider on me, and you'll see me turn into a little girl real quick. Like,
Bear, I was just gonna say, I have the same issue, and I tease Raven about it all the time because she lives in a spider farm.
Yeah.
I put giant spiders in my games on purpose, just so I can deal with it along with the players. Not trying to be therapeutic or anything, but just I love the idea of being terrified at the table.
So that takes us back to the most important statement about role playing ever. Role playing is not therapy.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Correct.
You're
I did that
spiders,
episode,
but are you going to
like
roll
a
up
year
to
ago.
somebody's table and say, "I'm afraid of spiders, so you can't have them in the game"?
No, I would never do that.
Yeah, it's a power play.
And if
It's
you did put a
specifically
spider in the goddamn game, I'd be like, kill it with fire. Let's kill it now. Kill it. Like, fuck.
Yeah, and then I'd ask you what your character is doing.
Kill it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Same thing, Max. I don't like bugs. But I put them in my game because I want to see and have them have a reaction to it, and I want to enjoy the freaking idea myself. A giant spider is just. God, that's just.
I want to address that comment. I don't remember one spider in Child's Play. That freaking thing was about a doll. Damn you.
It's not therapy. It's like they say in Legion of Myth, escapism, not realism. Okay.
Yeah,
the reason I wanted to run this girl out of my game is because she was the type of person that if everything didn't go her way, she was going to throw a fit at the table and disrupt the game for everybody.
Yeah, the I don't want spiders in the game is a control tactic, not a real thing.
Exactly. I don't want people like that in my life, let alone my game.
Malignant narcissism.
Now, 7's not the limit. Sometimes he's having that issue that you had the other day.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
he has that issue all the time. I've sent the link to him a couple of times in Discord. I'm going to post it up here again.
It's all right. I should probably duck off and take care of my boy. And he's upstairs and I don't hear him. If he's upstairs and I don't hear him, then something's amiss.
Yeah, kind of like the Punisher. You
Yeah.
worry when it gets quiet.
We can't hear you, Brian. The thing is, no slavery. Slavery happened in the medieval times.
It's happened.
It's happened since the dawn of history. I mean,
in every culture, on every continent, in every corner of planet Earth.
Whoa, what's this white supremacy I hear coming from your mouth, Bear?
Slavery is going to happen in the D&D game. Now, the murder grape, it's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how most of your half-orcs are on. But I don't have to get into
you don't have to depict
about it.
Yeah, it can be a thing that exists in your world. You don't have to depict it, and I don't either.
Everything bad is going to happen. Everything that's bad that's ever happened is going to happen in my role-playing games. I don't have to depict it all. Just know that shit happens.
Yeah, and what a better way of showing, or encouraging your players to be heroes. Confront them with that issue and have them, hopefully step in and do what they can to put a stop to that.
It's like when I was in college, there's in the student union, some people were talking about, D&D. So obviously I was interested. I went up, I started talking to them, and it was fucking Care Bears. I swear to God. It was a fairy-based D&D game where there was no combat.
But there was combat in Care Bears. They freaking had cannons in their chests, for God's sake.
But you get what I'm saying. They're like, we want somebody. They were looking for a DM. It's like, we want to find somebody who will run this game, but we don't want there to be any animosity, no bad stuff, just happy fairies playing in the woods.
So tell them one of them should run it. That's the game they want to play.
The 90s.
I would point them toward the nearest toy store and point them to the My Little Pony section and say, grab yourself some action figures, some toys, whatever, and don't invite me.
I mean, no, look, I don't fault somebody for wanting that style of play, but it's only when they come into somebody else's game and demand it. That's where the issues happen. Play the game you want to play, and if you want to play My Little Pony, you want to play Care Bears D&D, that's your business. But
I'm just not going to run.
the problem at the moment is, I mean, it's a whole you do you, I'll do me type thing. It's when you try and force me to do you.
Yeah.
That's when I have a problem.
Well, I heard you can't force a man.
Shouldn't ever have to force a man. Shouldn't even try to.
Yeah, if they want to play that, I ain't gonna. Well, I'm gonna make fun of them for wanting to fucking play that. That's just stupid.
Yeah, well,
in my opinion. But I have the right as an asshole to make fun of people for shit.
We need to play a Care Bear game though, but it's got to be actually like an episode of Care Bears where they
Yeah, you
kill
know,
each
give
other.
them that Care Bear stare and shit and shoot that happiness out of your chest.
How about Care Bears versus Smurfs?
No.
Hey, one of them was a victim of cannibalism.
Ooh, how about Care Bears versus Gummy Bears? The great bear war of 80s cartoon mornings.
Nice.
I like
If you run it, I'll join.
Doug, are you okay down there? Sounds like you're thinking in your head.
I was.
He's getting into character.
John and I have clearly realized that we can be friends, we can talk about things, we can like each other, we could probably go for a couple of pints and even play some pool.
Yes.
But we'll never role play together.
Probably not. No.
Terror Bears. That sounds like a campaign name right there.
Yeah, I see it ending up like that episode of South Park with all the little cute animals around Christmas time.
They all get eaten, don't they?
No, they were all raising Satan.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It's gonna end like a Ken Burns documentary talking about the horrors of war.
The woodland creatures, they're all trying to raise their Dark Lord to impregnate Squirrely for the Antichrist.
I don't watch South Park anymore for a reason.
Yeah. But that does sound like a campaign.
You guys
And
hear
on
me?
that note, guys,
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
call the show. Thanks for showing up every time.
Like,
Hey,
damn,
how
I
long
missed
did
all
you
the
guys?
fun.
How long did you guys hang out last night after I left? Or did you guys all bail?
No, we bailed,
Oh, okay.
or at least I did. I don't know about everybody else.
Well,
What was
if
last
Omen was
night?
there, God knows.
Oh, he's kept me in the back room for 4 hours once.
What was last night?
He got you in the bathroom
ran
for 4 hours
I ran a
once?
paint stream.
Back
You're
room,
spoofing off.
you deaf old man.
I couldn't hear you over the arguing about Justin being in the bathroom.
I
selling
just
his
run a
ass.
Thursday, paint and craft and chill bullshit
Okay.
session.
Cool.
Black belt, radioactive black belt hamsters.
Oh, I
remember
have
that.
all those issues.
Old school.
I have them all.
Did you ever hear of the flaming carrot?
Yes.
Of course.
I think I have some of those too.
I used to work with that guy.
How about milk and cheese? Have you ever heard of milk and cheese?
I have heard of milk and cheese. Yeah.
Dairy products gone bad.
Have you ever heard of Reed Fleming, World's Toughest Milkman?
No.
That was a good comic.
Reed Fleming, world's toughest.
So who was selling? So I heard you offer somebody who was selling a collection. Who's selling?
No,
that
I'm
collection?
just trying to convince John Yield Geek to sell me his Marvel collection.
You're lucky I'm a nice guy because I was interested for a second.
I used to be a golden age and silver age collector. I used to have 80 long boxes.
Nice.
When I got divorced,
Yeah, dude.
all that shit got sold.
Damn,
I've
dude,
lived
that
with
is a
bones.
hell of a collection, dude. I know what it takes to fill a long box these days, and damn,
80
I'll be
long
back.
boxes.
I've got like 15, and I want to double it in the next couple of years. But
You guys are freaking nerds, man.
At every appearance of
Okay.
Yes.
At every appearance of
proud.
Sergeant Rock, every appearance of Punisher,
You're
every
English,
appearance
don't
of
count.
Hydra and Shield.
Oh.
I had most of the
Congrats.
Captain America comics, but
Nice.
they're all munched. But I had almost all of them. That was cool. All winners. Had a bunch of all winners. USA comics.
I had almost the entire run of Avengers from 10 to 200, but I'd have to go check.
I had one, and I started collecting after 4 when Cap came back on board. But yeah, I was a big Cap fan. That was a million years ago, man. I quit comics after Civil War, man. I was just like, that wasn't Cap, dude. I was like, I've been reading Cap since I was a fucking kid in the 70s. And I'm like, how he played him out like he's a rogue and shit. Cap wouldn't have done that.
Can
I had the same problem.
Can I jump on that?
Yeah.
The biggest missed opportunity of the Civil War, and it's indicative of what's wrong with modern Marvel, was that they didn't, at the end of it, reveal that Loki was behind it all, subtly influencing their negative mental traits to force them to behave like this. Instead, they tried to play it legit, like, no, these people are just assholes to each other. Like, what?
No, man. I mean, I think the ending of it was fantastic in the fight in the park. And Cap, and there's all these people like laying on the ground. There's dead people, and then like the cop and the fireman jump on Cap, keep him from killing. I think it was Stark, and that's the realization, that spark. He's like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah.
And then that's when he surrendered, and that's Cap. Cap is better than all of us. He is a Boy Scout to the truest degree. He's not a prude. He's not, he's just the peak of what we all would want to be if we were, in the good. He's like lawful good in the highest degree, immoral man. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, one of the big problems I had with Cap was in the 60s and 70s, Cap only ever made it to Nam in one issue of Captain America. He was fighting the yellow claw. But there, in a comic book, Captain America versus the Punisher, there's a scene at the very end of that whole story. I think Dixon wrote it. Cap is standing in front of the unknown soldier, and Frank Castle, Punisher, walks up to him and says, "We could have used it. We could have used you there, Cap. Where were you? We could have had men of high caliber with us in that conflict." And Cap was shamed because during that time, Cap was just traveling around in his van with the Falcon, kind of finding himself, whatever. But that was a powerful moment, guys.
But you know what? In Civil War, they did a fantastic bit where Cap lays in physically to Castle, and he's laying the boots to him, and Castle refuses to fight back. And they're like, "Why aren't you fighting back?" He's like, "Because that's America, and I don't fight America." You know what I mean? Like, that was really well done. Like, I gotta give him that one.
Wow. You tell them, nerds. You tell them.
Oh, what's that? I'm sorry. I was at the place and they all played D&D, and I listened. I didn't like the D&D they played, so I told them to go piss up a rope. Who's the nerd now, Hungar? Come on, Appalachia.
No, I'm talking about a nerd's nerd. You see what she said?
Oh, I don't know what you be talking about. Let's talk about Cap. Cap is a soy boy beta.
Oh man, nerd, you fell down a couple pegs, sweetie.
Yep, sorry, gotta say you just fell.
Big time.
Wow, how am I gonna let that pass when I'm interviewing you later this afternoon?
That's rough. Soy boy.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe the reimagined modern day Cap. I don't know. I don't read any of that shit.
A nerd's nerd woke up and chose violence. Thank you, baby.
Yeah, she did.
Love you.
She's the stirring the shit today.
A nerd's nerd can do no wrong. She created the Hungar the Starvarian mini.
She did.
Drilling.
Oh, so Shadow, I got those minis for you. So you're hooked up, brother.
You're the man.
What minis?
Okay, I disavow any knowledge of what they're talking about and will not be part of their strange deals. Thank you, FBI.
Our backroom deals. Shadow.
Yeah. Again, he who would stir the pot must lick the spoon.
Yeah.
Justin likes to lick spoons, I guess.
I did not stir this pot. You did, bro.
No. You, sir. You are the spoon licker. That is, in fact, your new G.I. Joe.
I have to admit, I want to say I've just witnessed a pattern here. I think that our Canadian brothers, they're the shit stirrers.
Have you not been paying attention to Western history?
Yeah. The only people that got us beat at shit stirring is the Aussies.
They are the masters of trolling, yes.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
they take it to a whole new dark level. If you guys
don't know James L., you're missing out.
Yeah,
we had a good conversation yesterday.
For real, I am about ready to end this because I'm getting tired. I'm still not 100% recovered.
That's cool. I'm glad to see you though, man. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah. And
I've been extremely tired. I just got my voice back like last night.
Lucky us.
It was rough. I'm sorry that you guys had to put up with it.
You did sound positively demonic on Wednesday when you popped in on my stream. It was
Yeah, but I looked
The demonic
Evil
Santa.
incarnate.
But it's always a pleasure to see you guys. Thank you all for coming on the show. It's great to read all of your chats in the chat, everybody.
Oh, there's something I wanted to ask Bear. I was watching Shauner's review of Mr. Max's last Saturday night show.
Okay.
And he was talking about building games because I don't think he quite understood the mechanic you're referring to.
Yeah.
And I don't either. So maybe you might want to make content on what that means.
No, I've clarified this many times on my channel when I talk about superhero games. A builder game to me is what I also call a Lego game. So Champions, Mutants and Masterminds, any game where you take a pool of points and purchase everything from the ground up is a builder game, and I have no interest in them. They bore me to fucking tears. That said, I will be chill streaming tonight, so all of you gentlemen, any of you want to stop by and hang out, you're more than welcome to, including Hungar if you're feeling better. Sean, always love having you on. Justin, forget my number, please.
You know you love Justin, Bear.
I do love Justin. Like a fat kid loves Smarties.
Love Smarties.
Which is, for those that don't know, Smarties are Canadian M&Ms.
But better.
So much better.
I did not know that.
Are they Canadian?
They're Canadian. You have them in England too, don't you?
Yeah, I thought they were more British than Canadian.
No, so they're Canadian.
In America, Smarties for us are like these little sweet tarts.
We call them.
Yeah, I was about to say that's what I know.
Rockets in Canada. They're called rockets in Canada. They're really shitty hard sugar powder thing. But our Smarties have a better tasting candy, and the chocolate doesn't have that fucking American vomit smell that your
Swedish fish.
Yeah, and it comes in a box.
Your guys, the Cheetos, the Canadian Cheeto at McCormick or something like that. Is that what it's called?
McCormick does shortbread. I don't know. McCormick Cheetos.
Is there a
Canadian
Cheetos?
You're talking about cheesies. Cheesies.
Yeah.
Humpty Dumpty cheesies.
Yeah.
Cheese. They're like cheese puffs, right?
No, more like Cheeto, like the crisp, not the puffs.
Yeah,
we
have
Crunchits.
cheesies that look like that too.
I think he's referring to Crunchits.
Okay.
I can't remember a buddy of mine that's in Canada. He sent me a bunch of like Canadian specific like treats.
Yeah.
He sent. I can't remember. I want to say it was McCormick but the Cheetos are fantastic.
Yeah, you've not lived until you've had a coffee crisp.
Coffee Crisp is the best chocolate bar.
Yeah, not
ever
until you've had a coffee crisp.
Let Sean disagree. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
I will give up 1 million other chocolate bars for one coffee crisp.
I will die on that. I finally got myself a coffee crisp, and I was like, "This is the best fucking thing ever." Now, I will tell you, does anybody know the origin of M&Ms? M&Ms were invented during World War II for the Pacific Campaign because the Marines were complaining about the chocolates melting from the heat in the Pacific Islands.
No, that's not why they were complaining. They were complaining that they didn't have the colors of crayons.
The original, they wanted the crayons.
Semper Fi.
The original slogan for M&Ms was "Melt in your mouth, not the sand." And after World War II, they continued with the M&Ms.
Lee's bringing some facts into the chat.
Yeah, let's double check that. I'm looking as well because I was always told.
Sounds good.
1918. Interesting.
That's what I read somewhere.
Yeah, it was Roundtree of York that made them originally. Interesting.
No, Smarties. Okay, so Smarties are from, and you know what? America probably just stole the idea of the Smarties and made them.
Yeah, well, we invented basketball, so there.
Yeah, and you know what?
Basketball shit.
They're from England, so England can go fuck itself. Yeah.
Basketball shit.
So's England. What's your point?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying basketball shit.
In case you guys didn't know, gaming with ADHD, he went to England.
He went to the UK. He got a shirt and everything.
Yeah.
I'm biased against basketball because it's for tall people, and I'm not.
Oh, that's
No,
okay.
you just lower the
You're
Shout
net.
out to Larry
Come
Bird.
My grandfather actually played professional back in the day, and
Didn't we create baseball
got into
too?
it. I never got into the game.
Canadians made baseball? I don't know about that one.
No, Americans.
Yeah, probably. Because cricket was too complicated.
Canada invented code.
Yeah, we did do that.
We didn't
But
invent it, we
I'm telling
perfected it, please.
You're not playing basketball properly if the net is not made out of a fruit basket.
So it was invented by a McGill professor, but it was invented in the U.S. by a Canadian. That's the origin of basketball, just in case you're
Peace, love, and chicken grease. Everybody have a great night. Sub to everybody who's on the show if you want to. I don't give a shit.
Keep it weird.
Good night, everybody.
Well, see you all tonight.
Bye now.
See ya.